finally back with a live commentary of my Carolina Panthers franchise. It has been a long time. I believe the last time I spoke on here was the trade deadline episode. I believe that was the last time I spoke on here. Now, I do want to point out a lot of stuff has happened since that episode. Um, and I kind of did a poor job of doing this, but I was able to re-sign, I believe, everyone that I wanted to re-sign. Um, I did. I did not realize you could restructure contracts during the season. That was the one thing that I did not realize. So, but I figured it out. So yeah, but also another thing that completely blew me away was first of all making the playoffs with Carolina, making the Super Bowl with Carolina, and winning the Super Bowl with Carolina. So as you know, I played every single game this season. I do not know how I won the Super Bowl with Carolina. And I traded away a receiver, mind you. I traded away Adam Thielen for a second rounder, I believe. So I'm honestly baffled. Um, I would like to continue this series, even though I won a Super Bowl, and see if I can make a little bit of a dynasty. I believe that was Carolina's first Super Bowl that I won, but so I ended up winning a Super Bowl. See if this has a sound effect. Okay, perfect. So I ended up winning the Super Bowl with the Panthers. First season. Again, I did not expect this. We had abilities unlocked. But first, let's look at the playoff bracket to get like a recap of the playoffs. So we were on the NFC side. So taking a look at the AFC side first. Buffalo blowing out Houston. Not completely surprised. I am a bit surprised that Houston only scored 7 points. Bengals beating the Chargers by 3. I could see that happening. The Chiefs losing in the first round to the Ravens was interesting. But that was possible. I wish that was possible in real life. What I did not think would happen was the Jaguars blowing out the Ravens. Um, the Bills and Bengals, that was a pretty good game, it looked like. Um, that's probably expected. And the Bengals beating the Jaguars is not out of the picture. The beating Bengals have made it to the Super Bowl before. So, yeah. Um, Besides the Jaguars blowing out the Ravens, I think the AFC side was pretty realistic. On the NFC side, number one, the Falcons somehow getting to winning the division, winning 13 games, I believe. Um, I did not think that would be possible with Desmond Ritter, but in the game, Desmond Ritter actually developed pretty decently. Real life, it just came out a few hours ago that Kirk Cousins signed a contract there, so it does not look like Desmond Ritter will be the starter anymore. Um, the Giants making the playoffs as a 7th seed. I'm assuming that's because of Daniel Jones being healthy. I could see that happen. I could see that happening if Daniel Jones was healthy. The 49ers against the Eagles, I could see that. I could easily see that. Eagles beating the 49ers by 4, I could see that. Not impossible. What I did not expect was us making the playoffs. I already said that. But we played Green Bay in the first round. We played them early in the year and we beat them. I believe we had a blowout over Green Bay and they just scored garbage time points. I can't remember. It's been so long since that's happened. It's been prior to the NFC Championship game. It was basically a month in between videos uploading. That's been a lot of stress in my life, but that's almost taken care of. So I knew I had confidence that we could beat them. We ended up beating them. So yeah. Uh, Dallas against Eagles. If in real life it got to this point, I would take the Eagles over the Cowboys, but the Cowboys beat the Eagles by 14. So, in the game, the Cowboys simulate really well. In real life, I do not think the Eagles would have lost that game. Played Atlanta. I believe we split with Atlanta during the regular season. So played the rubber match and we blew them out. I believe that was Bryce Young's best game of his career. We had 336 passing yards. We just took off in the second quarter. So yeah, that was fun. And then in the championship game, that was more recent. Played that a few days ago. Blew out the Cowboys. We beat them earlier in the season already. Beat them again. And then the Super Bowl, the most stressful and frustrating 3.5 quarters of football I ever played on this game in my life. Bengals had control of that game for pretty much the entire core game until about like 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter. We finally broke through with the Bryce Young rushing touchdown, I believe it was. And then the passing game started going on. A lot of things happened for us. I was getting really mad, and I actually started hitting not hitting my controller, but I got really frustrated, slapping my knee because I made awful mistakes. 3 turnovers, all 3 were my errors. So at some point I was like, well, this is a great season, but we didn't win. But we honestly could have blown out the Bengals. If I did not turn it over twice in the red zone, I'm pretty sure we would have blown them out. At least gotten 6 extra points. Would have forced the Bengals to try and make a game scoring touchdown. But our defense played really well in the second half. Really well. And we only got 1 turnover, but we only forced 1 turnover. But our defense played really well. Our offense in the fourth quarter really stepped up. Rushing, which was kind of our MO during the regular season, less than 100 yards. I believe that might be the first time this entire season that we had less than 100 yards of rushing. Passing yards was pretty even with the Bengals. But yeah, when I look at this, it looks like we dominated the game, but that was the most frustrating 3.5 quarters of my life. Burrow played really well. I forced 2 dumb turnovers. I just kept getting sacked. It was just not a fun Super Bowl until I came back in May. I was actually not going to go for the 2-point conversion, but the game decided to take that away from me. So, and basically threw it in my face like, hey, 2-point conversion is right there. I almost backed out of it, but then I decided, you know what? I'll try it. I'll see how it goes. And I wanted to bait the Bengals into a false start or into an offsides to try and get close to the 1.5 yard line and potentially attempt to sneak. But I'm glad it didn't happen because a couple plays earlier, I tried to sneak and I got like a half a yard. I also almost messed up on my time management, because the clock drained like 15 to 17 seconds at one point. There was like 24 seconds on the clock, and it drained it all the way down to 5. And I know in last year's game, I was playing in a Super Bowl, not a series, but I was playing in a Super Bowl, and there was like 20 seconds left, and I made a play, and I did hurry up, and it drained out the rest of the clock, and I lost the Super Bowl because of that. And I know in real life that would not have happened, but Madden is programmed by toddlers, so yeah. But amazing Super Bowl. Unfortunately, I feel like this series has kind of turned into a wash because we won the Super Bowl the first season. But hey, we won the Super Bowl. That was my goal overall. I was not expected to hit in the first season, but now we got higher expectations and really need to aim for repeating. One thing I will do for this second season, and I will turn on X Factors, and I will do that right now. Reason why I did not have it on for the first season, because I do not like X Factors being on. I feel like they are just too dumb. They don't work well. I don't know if I should be able to turn them on now that I think about it. Okay, I am. I think yeah. Okay. We will turn off the regression depth rate though. I don't like that. That's the part I don't like. Because sometimes I feel like your rookie or your sophomore player who had like a superstar doesn't play as well. They drop down to a star. And I know regression is bound to hit every so often, but it just happens way too much. It just happens way too much. But I want to do that so we can get some X factors. X Factor. See Bryce Young's X Factor, who, in my opinion, has an opportunity of winning Rookie of the Year. But here are the annual awards. We should really go through this. This will probably be a long off-season video. But Lamar Jackson won MVP. Joe Burrow finished second. Bryce Young actually got votes. He finished ninth ahead of Brock Purdy. Interesting. Coach of the Year. I finished in sixth, which I'm not surprised. Doug Peterson finishing first. NFC Offensive Player of the Year, Brandon Ayuk. Dang it, Miles Sanders just missed out. Defensive Player of the Year, Aaron Donald. Not surprised. My user finished fourth. That's interesting. And Shaq Thompson finished eighth. So we had two guys in the top 10. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Bryce Young just missed out. Bijan Robinson beat him out there. Jonathan Mingo, yeah, he wouldn't be up there. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Jamie Robinson, one Defensive Rookie of the Year. That's perfect. And it's going to get him going. Best QB, Bryce Young finished ahead of Kyler Murray. So that's interesting. Best running back, Miles Sanders. Big W for us. Best wide receiver, yeah, this isn't gonna. We had a lot of players that were, and I'd be curious to see the stats. A lot of players that kind of even, I think. Nothing in best offensive line, defensive lineman. Again, nothing. Best linebacker, Shaq Thompson was up there for us. Best defensive back, Jeremy Chin. So we had 3, 4, 5 Panthers. And that's because of all the interceptions we got. But Jeremy Chin, J.C. Horn, Von Bell, and then Dante Jackson all got consideration of Jimmy Chin winning the best defensive back. Best kicker, our kicker finished in 5th. I don't know if I might have missed extra points. But yeah, so I did not mean to back out. I do want to look at the NFC or AFC. Oh my gosh, AFC Offensive Player of the Year or AFC awards. So Lamar Jackson wins Offensive Player of the Year. Josh Jacobs, a running back, finishes second over Joe Burrow. Defensive Player of the Year, Joey Bosa. And Chris Jones finished second. Interesting. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Zay Flowers. Not surprising. Anthony Richardson finished second. C.J. Stroud finished in 5th. That's interesting. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Will Anderson Jr. Not surprised there. Best quarterback, MVP, Lamar Jackson won it. So, not surprised. Best running back, again, not surprised. Josh Jacobs. Derrick Henry second, Jonathan Taylor third. That's not surprising there. Best wide receiver, Jamar Chase. Not surprising there. Zay Jones is a bit surprising considering you have a bunch of all these other greats behind him, but you know, not out of the picture. Offensive lineman, not much to say about this. Best defensive lineman, Von Miller. Yikes. Chris Jones finished second. Forrest Buckner finished third. Best linebacker, Joey Bosa, not surprised. T.J. Watt and Max Crosby finished behind him. McClellan Mack and Alex Highsmith finishing behind him. Best defensive back, Nate Hobbs for the Raiders, Pat Surtain. Roger McCreary, interesting. And then the best kicker, Harrison Butker. Matt Gay just finished behind him, and Brandon McManus finished third. So, interesting awards. Some interesting stuff. I never spent any of my franchise staff. I don't believe I did. It looks like I might have. Yeah, looks like I might have. I do know when I do my own stuff, like if I do a long-term rebuild, I kind of hold off on putting Clutch Trust. So I usually go weekly for when I do rebuilds on my own off camera, because I've done pretty much every single team at this point, including the Panthers rebuilds. So I usually wait until the off season, because season goes by quicker. You just have to really worry about player upgrades. So I usually do those manually because I don't know and don't trust how the CPU would do it, because Madden cannot program their game properly. So yeah. Based off of our stats, I'm not gonna worry about firing anyone. So I mean, we won the Super Bowl. I would not fire anyone. Defense at times was, our defense was really a turnover or break type of team. I don't know if that ranking is including, is only the playoffs, or if that is the entire season, including the playoffs. But our defense being pretty much near last and everything is pretty on point. So that being said, I think it's time we end up going to the off season and get this off season started and get ready. Oh jeez, that scared the crap out of me. You guys probably won't see it, but my battery thing went off, which I hope it doesn't die during this stream, because that's gonna suck. So we have 6 million, or pretty much 7 million in cap space. Really not much to work with. We also don't have a first round pick in this draft. Again, really not much to work with in the off season. Just gonna be more focused on development. I would love to make a run at some free agents, but at this point in time, I probably should have looked at stats for all of our players. I wonder if I can still do that. I hope I can. It's one thing I forgot to do, which is my fault. What's new? But other things, because this might be a long video / stream, because I do stream these. I didn't delete the MLB The Show poll for what team I should control for the upcoming MLB The Show game for a series that I will be starting the week of release to the entire public. Can I please? I don't know what's a good way to take a look. I don't know what's a good way to take a look at. I guess I can go. Okay, stats and awards. Here we go. The other player stats. So Bryce Young played in every single game. Andy Dalton never played a single snap. I considered it at some points in the season when I was an idiot and kept turning the ball over with Bryce Young. 46 yards shy of 5,000 yards as a rookie. Passed the ball 650 times, 38 touchdowns, 25 interceptions. I would have to say probably 20 of those were on me. Average close to 300 yards per game. Not the best passer rating, but we'll try and get that up. 54 sacks, not the best. Dalton did play a game. I might have been because of maybe an injury to Bryce Young, or I brought him in as like a sub. But yeah, rushing, Miles Sanders got majority of the carries. Not close to a 2,000 yard rusher, but he was up there. Average almost 110 per game. He only fumbled twice, broke 44 tackles. Yeah, he was a monster with us, and there's a reason why I wanted to re-sign him. Bryce Young got the second most carries. Most of them were just sprints. I did incorporate the option towards the end of the season and in the playoffs. Picked up 6 touchdowns. And then Chuba Hubbard played an entire game. This is with Sanders being injured. I think he missed an entire game near multiple spurts of times where he missed a few series. But Chuba Hubbard never really got playing time in the playoffs. But he played pretty well in times that he did play. If for some reason I wasn't able to afford Sanders, I would be confident with Hubbard as a starter, just not too confident. So yeah, receiving Hayden Hurst. I mean, what can you say? He was my number one target, obviously, in terms of those crossing routes. 102 receptions on the air, easily led the team. 1,300 yards career year, definitely, I believe. 5 touchdowns. He's an award winner, so I wonder if he won Best Tight End Award. Laviska Shenault, I believe I brought back all these receivers. I would love to try and get a proper number 1. But Laviska Shenault was my number 2. Had 777 on the yards, had 7 touchdowns. A lot of 7s in his name, including playing 17 games. DJ Chark Jr. had a pretty good season. 5 touchdowns, 38 receptions. So not that bad. Miles Sanders, 69 receptions, 687 yards. Both running backs actually got quite a bit of work. Terrace Marshall, kind of a guy that went after we traded Adam Thielen, stepped up big time. Ian Thomas, 8 touchdowns as a tight end. He played really well. A lot of those were underneath routes again, and catch right after the catch. Chuba Hubbard got 16 receptions, probably on screens. Jonathan Mingo, I definitely would love to get him into a 2 or a 3 role at some point down the line. So yeah, but he caught a clutch touchdown. He caught the touchdown for us. I don't believe he was the one that caught the 2-point conversion. I can't remember. Tommy Tremble had 3 catches for 17 yards and a touchdown. Giovanni Ricci had 4 receptions for a touchdown. So overall, the receiving core wasn't terrible. Rasheem Blackshear played 17 games. All those games were returns. Blocking. Who gave the most sacks? Yikes! This guy, Taylor Mutton, and he actually was rated pretty well. But a lot of these sacks are not necessarily based off of the players being awful. It's the game, Madden's game, and game deciding to say, "Hey, we're just going to allow an immediate pressure." There's a lot of instances where I have gone back and watched plays after I'm done recording and have seen the dumbness of Madden. But Cade Mays, Larnell Coleman, well, actually, all these guys barely played. The starters did not do the best, but it is what it is. So yeah, defense, Shaq Thompson, sort by solo tackles. Okay, actually no, we'll do by total tackles. So yeah, Shaq Thompson, 154 tackles, 1 pick, 7 deflections, 24 tackles for loss, 6.5 sacks as a middle linebacker is pretty good. So yeah, pretty good season. Jeremy Chin, this is my user. Not all of these were from me, obviously, but 7 interceptions. Quite a few of those were from me. 12 TFLs, 138 tackles for free safety is really good. Von Bell, it seemed like every single week there was a stretching point in time where every single week he would pick up at least 1 interception. He had 6 on the year, 134 tackles, 1 sack. Xavier Woods actually, I feel like played pretty well for us. Again, I as my backup. 4 interceptions, 96 tackles. Definitely played pretty well this season. J.C. Horn, 7 interceptions, 85 tackles. Jamie Robinson, 7.5 sacks, 14 tackles for a loss, 85 total tackles, pretty good. Dante Jackson, 4 picks. I mean, not a bad season for the defense. I do want to count these interceptions. 14, 20, 24, 28, 29, 30 interceptions for this defensive unit this season. I believe we had one fumble recovery. Yeah, we had we had two. We had two fumble recoveries on the entire season. We forced 32 turnovers, pretty much 1.7 per game, and majority of those were interceptions. But Eddie Pinheiro missed 2 kicks, hit one from 61 as his longest. What did he miss? So he missed one up to 49 yards and around 50. He did not do kickoffs. Johnny Hecker did kickoffs, which I hope I hope he's still with my team. Punting, Johnny Hecker played pretty well. 56 is long. We didn't punt too much. Punted a lot on the Super Bowl. We had 8 inside the 20. So pretty good stats for Hecker. Kick return, virtually all of our returns were from Raheem Blackshear, 22 average. Not the best. I definitely love to consider getting a nice speedster guy to put out raw punt return. Pretty much 9 yards. Not the best, but it is what it is. We did not have a single touchdown kick return. So overall, team. With those stats, defense definitely played pretty well when they got turnovers. But overall, the team definitely needs some work. I believe we don't have to re-sign anyone. I don't think. We might have options, but what I would love to do is see if we can free up some from cap space and give us some money to spend in the off season. So I'm just gonna restructure some contracts. Ones that would make potential sense. Because I would love to see if I can spend some money this offseason to at least try and improve some points of this team. So roughly 30 million. 22 million according to this. We have F as our right tackle. So do we really have an F on our right tackle? Means we have no one there. Oh, we have Madden. What is Madden blabbering about? He's in a contract for 2 seasons. I don't know what Madden is talking about. Yeah. But overall, I might as well just stay on here just to see. So Mingo is technically our slot receiver, but and DJ Chark and Louis Cristiano are roughly our 1 and 2. Again, I'd love to really see if I can get a proper number 1 receiver. And Mingo, I really want him to get a lot more touches because he could definitely help. Sanders, pretty decent. Our O-line, I gave up a lot of sacks, but not much I can do about it. Maybe an upgraded center, which I don't think we'll have the money for. Tight end is fine with Hurst. Defensive tackles or nose tackles definitely need some improvement if we want to. I mean, we stopped the run pretty well, but if we want to force pressure up the middle, then we definitely need to get some work done there. Middle linebackers, Gross Matos, I don't think is a guy that we can rely on as our right outside linebacker. So our nose tackles and our right outside linebacker are guys that really we need to work on, and then depth at the middle linebacker position. It looks like we can keep Pennicini and McCall's depth, but we really need a proper starter. Tuttle, not sure if I really want him being our starting left end, but we'll figure it out later. Special teams, I am kicking really doesn't matter factor in too much in this game. As long as you hit it pretty accurate, kick will most likely go in. Um, but yeah, offensively, definitely don't look to target a receiver. Fullback doesn't matter too much. For defense, nose tackles, and take a look at the right outside linebacker position. So we have roughly 22-ish million to spend, so we'll see what we can do. Resign players might have 50-year options on guys. I can't remember. It's been a long time since I've done anything with the cap space that low. That low before stuff. I'm sure I was able to get everything signed. So 24 million. We're gonna accept J.C. Horn's option, 50-year option. Okay, so interesting. Okay. How much does he want for franchise? 13 million for 56 overall. You can forget about that. So, if we do not re-sign Chark or Chanel, we will be down to Mingo and Marshall as our best receivers, and in danger of potentially seriously regressing at the receiving core. But I also really want to get a proper number one. And with free agency, I don't know what that proper number one would be. These guys don't have any interest in re-signing here, even after winning the Super Bowl. The guy I would probably target more is Chanel because he is younger, he's cheaper. So thank you for your time, DJ, but we are probably going to withdraw our offer and ignore signing with you. Chanel, I believe I've offered him. I guess not. So a neutral medium risk would leave us with roughly 18 million to spend, and we're going to be down to Mingo and Marshall, with Chanel as probably our number two. Marshall played pretty well for us. But with normal development and a guy who I really don't see helping us, we're not going to franchise tag DJ Chark. That's just not going to happen. I just don't see the point in re-signing, going overspending when I could use that money to either target a number one, or target other positions of need. Wide receiver is a position of need. Don't get me wrong, but we could draft those positions, and I could cook up a trade to move up into the first round to try and get a good receiver. Again, these are auto-generated receivers, so they're not going to be Malik Neighbors, Roma Dunse, or Marvin Harrison Jr., even though I probably would not be able to trade up to get him. So I'm gonna have to rely on this class being having a lot of wide receivers. So, in fact, we could take a look at the class, not on the mock draft. Prospects. So in the top 10, there are no wide receivers in the top 10, which concerns me. So really, there's only one guy that's for sure first round guy, and that's Chris Footy. Is he 100% scouted? Not at all. Why did my scouts not scout him? Okay, so this makes it more difficult. Combine hasn't been released yet, so we won't really know. And really, you can't just go by this in Combine stats. You used to be able to in older Madden games, because that would give you a better hint. But we got one guy, potentially two maybe, in the this guy is a physical man, playmaker. As a number one, I would rather have a playmaker, not a number two, not a physical man. But I am going to definitely have to figure out what the heck I'm going to do. Well, we're just going to not re-sign those two receivers and move on then at the receiver position and those positions being needed. So we had the combine results. Aiden Holly. I mean, I'm not gonna be going after any of these guys. Um, I wouldn't be able to anyways. I don't have a first round pick. I don't believe so. Which I think I could check. But wide receiver is definitely a position that we need, particularly two. Even though it's not up there on top team needs. I'm not gonna trade anything yet. I just want to see what picks we have, because I don't believe we have a first round pick this year. No, we have 2 seconds and a third and then 2 fifths. So yeah, we're kind of thin on picks for the next couple of years, especially for next year. We don't have a second rounder. So we're definitely gonna have to aim for getting a second rounder at some point. Probably not in this video. Maybe potentially we'll see what happens. But our cap space jumped up a little bit to close to 25 million. Let's see who our guys we could potentially have available. Immediately, I have Amari Cooper, who is actually interested in coming here. The only issue is that he wants 22.5 per year. We only have basically 25 million per year. Meaning, if we sign him, we have pretty much no more money. And although I would love to get Amari Cooper, he is 30 years old. Again, if I can knock that value down to a team-friendly deal, save some money, knock that bonus down, we'll see what he does. 9.5. I know this is probably not at all what he wants. We will offer it, see what happens. I don't think it's going to work, but we will see what happens. He hates that deal. Okay, we are just going to withdraw that offer. Okay. Let's take a look at wide receivers. So, McCole Hardman is looking for 10 million. Mike Williams. Okay. So these two are off my board already. I'm not going to target them. But with the free agent class potentially being weak on wide receivers, I definitely want to target a wide receiver that can get me there. McCole Hardman is probably the best guy available that I see that I could potentially get. He's looking for roughly 10.5 million per year, so that would leave me with roughly 15. Actually, that would leave me with pretty much 14 million per million to work with for positions that I really need to look at, which is right outside linebacker and the tackles. So the defensive tackles. That's not it. So yeah, Denzel Perriman. He's not that interested in coming to us. He's not particularly cheap, but he's cheap-ish. And let's take a look at the tackles. Just want to see what's available. Okay, Michael Pierce. He's pretty expensive. We can go younger and cheaper with DJ Jones or Poona Ford. Remember, we have 68. We have mid to upper 60s in these positions, so we can easily, even a 73 would be an upgrade easily. But I'm going to make my first official offer of free agency, and that is going to be to DJ Jones. We are going to offer him, how old is he? 29. We'll offer him a 2-year deal, and we'll give him roughly. So he's looking for around 9 million. Giving him 7. Oh my gosh. Yeah, he's not gonna like that. I mean, actually, interest in him will definitely help. We are his number 1 team. So we're roughly spending. We're getting up there and spending. So, that'll be my first official offer, and then I will go cheaper. I know there's really no interest in these guys, but I will go cheaper. Or not, yeah, it's not really cheap, but I will go a little bit lower in the overall department. Still, We'll make this a 1-year deal. We'll bump this up to $2 million. So we'll have roughly $9 million to go, assuming we get both of these players. This is a 1-year deal, kind of just to fill that second void of in there where they both are our only offers. So this is to fill that void and give us a shot at improving in the nose tackle position. Right outside linebacker is the other position that we could upgrade, but we have a 71 or 72. Okay. Utura Gross Matos. Again, interest is there for these players, Zaire Franklin, but I don't know if a 2 overall boost isn't really what I consider an improvement. I think we can stand strong at the right outside linebacker position, see if we can upgrade via trade. So let's go back to the other position, and other stuff that I really need to address, and that is wide receiver. So assuming we get both of our defensive tackles that we're targeting, we are sitting with roughly $8.9 million, and Nicole Hardman wants roughly $10.5 million. So as you can see, we cannot afford him. So I'm going to bank on his interest in being here, critical to him accepting a deal, and I could actually make it a 4-year deal, so we can actually slightly give him extra money to somewhat meet his expectations. We'll see how this is. Not the best. Does he have offers? He does. We're fighting the Bears for that. If we end up getting all 3 of these players, we will not be spending any more free agent money, but I'm going to see if I can cook up a trade to potentially jump up into the first round and see if I can snag a receiver. And I'm talking jump up to like pick 20. But here we go. We're just going to hit eval offers, see what happens. Okay, so we did not offer these guys. The Texans have jumped into the mix, and they are ahead of us. If for some reason we cannot sign Hardman, then we will have to target. I might just scrap the wide receiver position and draft 2 in the draft. Go young. Nose tackles. Did we get this? We got a DJ Jones, so we have our first signee. It is DJ Jones. I think that was possibly a good deal. And we got Andrew Billings, so we improved both our nose tackle positions. That's not true. So we have just our wide receiver. Now we targeted. Now we only have 70K, so we can't improve this offer. So we're gonna have to see and what happens, and we lose out on Nicole Hardman. And so yeah, I am a bit devastated. We have roughly 10.3 million in cap space. Excuse me. We could go for someone like Donovan Peoples-Jones. He has 3 teams interested. He's on the very edge of our budget. Again, I don't know if this is a guy that I'd really want to target. Give him a 2-year deal. I might have to improve that. We'll give him a 2-year deal for 5.5, 4.5. It's not really like the offer. He's not really interested in coming here. Just behind the Lions, so we'll see what happens. If we do not get him, then we will not go after receiver, and we'll unfortunately have to hope draftees hit. And we don't know if we got him yet. His interest actually is slightly improving, and we are the number 1 offer. So we lose. We don't have any more status or the things to see if they accept our offer. So we're gonna sim to the next week. If that cap space goes down, we know we sign him. But I'm going to avoid looking at the cap space to kind of give myself a surprise. I suggest you guys do the same if you want to. This first week always takes forever. So, did we sign our receiver? No. Went to the Lions. So I think I'm just gonna not try and sign another wide receiver. Let Mingo jump up and see how these drafted receivers go. I think we're definitely gonna consider we're gonna consider wide receiver number 1. I'm gonna save this 10 million. We're gonna move on to free agency or move on to potential trades. But I do want to double check my roster just to make sure, in case we could take a look at upgrading any positions in terms of depth. Center is a position that I could consider. I'm gonna leave it. We're good on the nose tackles. Actually, I can generate the best lineup. There we go. Okay, so Luvu actually moves into our ass linebacker. So actually, I think we're pretty set on defense. This area is a little shaky, but Billings is on a 1-year deal. He'll probably be here only for a year. Offensively, interesting. I think everything is okay. Again, center, let's take a look at center, see if anything is available. If nothing is available, then we will just move on to the draft. Actually, we will not. I would like to see if I can cook up a trade to pick, get up in the first round, around the 20 to 24, or 20 to 23 range. Randy Hudson, he's expecting $7.3 million per year. Really old. Would only be a 1-year offer. While it'd be nice to get a 5 overall boost, that is pretty old, but I mean, not like that's a 6 overall boost. We'll take the offer. It's a 1-year deal. He would love to play for us. We're his only offer. Just give the old man a job, and there he is. So we ended up signing two defensive tackles. One of them is more of a filler for the season, and then the other one is hopefully more of a not necessarily a long term, but a few seasons here. We chicken out on the receiver. I did not want to spend all of my resources on just one receiver this season. So, yeah, but we got 2 defensive tackles. We improved our center position. So offense definitely looks improved based off of overall. We have 2 second-round picks. I don't really want to package both of them to jump up to the first round. If we're jumping up into like the 20 to 24 range, we shouldn't have to give up too much, I don't think. But we will take a look at the trades. But first, I do want to take a look at the standings just to see who finished at the top. So we won the Super Bowl. So I believe we are picking first. Yeah, so this is kind of tough. We also need to target a team that has a first-round pick this year. Take a look at the Chargers. They finished 10th overall in the standings. I guess I can always just move around each team and see what kind of first-round picks they have. They have a 32nd pick, which actually that's our pick, so that was our pick. 31st. 27, I'd like to jump up a little bit higher. Wait, hold on. Cardinals also have the 21st pick. Chargers have pick 22. Let's take a look at the 21st pick. Let's first off see what they are expecting. Oh my gosh. Might be underestimating the value of a pick. Okay, we'll throw in a second. We'll throw in our fourth. I want to keep that second and that third. We'll throw in next year fifth, and then we will throw in a 2026 fifth. I know that's not going to get it done. I just want to see how much. Not quite halfway. Okay. Let's regroup. Let's throw in a second, or a second of 2026. We can get that pick back easily. Let's just see how close it gets. So that gets us over halfway. Okay, let's add in our last fifth this year, and then a fifth in 2025. See how close that gets us to that. Now looking good. Might have to throw in a fourth, which again I could recoup those picks. We don't have a fourth 2026 or 2025, so this might not work with just giving up picks. Yikes. So yeah, pick 33. That's pretty much the first round. I just really want to get two wide receivers, and virtually 30 picks in between does not give me confidence. So actually, let me go back to the Bears. Let me see if I can pick up that. I know this kind of be considered fleecing because I'm trying to get it back, but maybe not. Broncos. I would love to try and get like the 25 range, maybe 24. See if we can get a little bit back, a little bit. 29. They don't have cap space, so I don't know how the trade would work. Dolphins had the number 1 pick. That is scary. All right, take a look at the Eagles. See what they would like. Can we offer you just a straight up 1-for-1? No. I don't know. Giving up, might have to give up a lot. 6. See how this works. Close. See what that third gets us in 2025. Very close. But that's virtually all of our assets that we have. So I'm not packaging 2 second-round picks because I want this 33rd pick to be able to get us, hopefully, our second receiver. And receivers aren't that good in this draft, so I don't want to overpay for a bad receiver. So now I'm beginning to think I should just not trade and see if I can just pick up that second receiver. But I'll see if I can get this first round pick back. Throw you 64. This is tough. I'll throw you a 64 and 2025 third. Might have to give up a second. Now this is 2026. Plenty of time to get this recouped. I'll get rid of the third real quick just to see. Okay, now that third should be able to get us there. Not this year's third, next year's third. That third should be able to get us there. Okay, so yes, we gave up a lot, but both of those picks we can get back easily, especially at the deadline. I just wanted to move up. I know I moved up 1 spot, but I wanted to guarantee I would be getting 2 receivers pretty close back to back. We can use that other, we gave up our 64, or we gave up number 64. So again, we did get fleeced. I know that, but I want to get 2 more receivers to just see if I can improve them. So yeah. But overall, we're done with free agency. We got what we wanted to do, finish. So we can simulate to the end of free agency and see what happened, who signed where. So yeah. and prepare for the upcoming draft, which is going to be exciting. Yeah, free agency workout. Free agency workout. I saw the draft workout. Free agency recap. So Cooper, Texans. Mike Williams goes to the Titans. Eckler goes to the Lions. Yikes. Wagner goes to Houston. So Houston pretty active. Townsend did not sign. Ryan Young went to the Colts. Michael Pierce went to the Vikings. Gerald Everett went to the Commanders. Mecole Hardman went to the Bears. Hunter Henry went to the Colts. No moves in our division yet. A lot of players have yet to sign. The NFC North is getting interesting. Grantel Pitt got signed by the Falcons. That's definitely a bump. I can't remember if they had him already and they're just re-signing him in offseason. Oh, the Texans are AFC. So yeah, that's like the only move that I've seen our division make. Kirk Cousins went there. Interesting. Okay, so they got another wide receiver, Tim Patrick. Interesting. And they got a middle on. So the Falcons definitely. I can't remember if those are players that they've already had or those are new players that they're signing, but they are definitely making moves. They kind of matched us with signings that we made in terms of they made another wide receiver signing. Drew Tranquil is a guy that I've seen in franchises. Oh my gosh. Gonna have to be paying attention to the Falcons. They have made a lot of moves in free agency. They have a lot of money to spend, but they have made a lot of moves. Interesting. That's all for free agents. So, Vikings are the only other team in our division that actually made moves. So, I don't know what Falcons. I don't know what the Buccaneers and Saints are doing. Saints probably cannot spend money. Buccaneers need a QB. So, I think with that being said, let's hit the draft. And let's prepare to start the draft. I did not expect that to happen. Okay, we will mute that because I do not want to have that playing in my ear. Let's turn master volume all the way down. I just don't want that to have it in my ear every single time. So I kind of want to go pick by pick in this first round. Let's view the draft board. I do want to see what the receivers are looking at. So yeah, we did like two full scouts almost on these receivers, and they both look awful. Anyways, well, I'll have to kind of use the combine scores and stuff like that. Interesting to see what the Dolphins do in this pick. They take Chauncey Sherman, a left outside linebacker from Alabama. See what the Bears do. I don't think they need a quarterback. They go right in with Cliff Robertson. Okay, Saints get the third pick in the draft. They decide to select left outside linebacker, so that's two off the board. Marco Delgado. Interesting. Buccaneers take the Titans take the quarterback off the board, Aiden Hawley. Even with Malik Willis and Will Levis on their roster. Might be a three-way battle. Andrew Benjamin, a left tackle, goes number 5 to the Rams, or number 6 to the Rams. The Cardinals are on the. Sorry, I am reading this way wrong. Sorry. The Rams picked up Marco Alam, cornerback. The Cardinals are on the clock. I messed that up. Cardinals select Ian Bowden on right outside linebacker, so the receivers are still on the board at this point in time. Vikings might need one. They go left end with Antoine McKell from Tennessee. Broncos take a cornerback, B.J. Mullins from Florida. Commanders take a right tackle, Wyatt Crockett from Virginia. Jamal Worthy goes pick number 11 from Oregon to the Commanders. Corey Steele, tight end, goes there. I don't understand that because they have Freiermuth, but unless they didn't retain him, or that's a depth move, could be one of two. Adonis Stevens from Illinois goes to the Lions. He's a corner. Enrique Gay from Florida State goes to the Colts. So we're about to be halfway to our pick. Left guard Raphael Holcomb goes to the Seahawks. So we're halfway to our pick. Still looking good on the receiver side. Brian Benford. After we do these 2 consecutive picks, I won't go pick by pick. Kevin Mills, a second quarterback. Interesting. San Diego State goes to the Jets. Interesting there that they take a quarterback. And Chris Footy, that is the guy that I really wanted. He goes off the board at pick 18 to the Raiders. They have a lot of stuff that they could address, and I did not think wide receiver was something that they would consider, but that is something they consider. Braden Holmes goes to the Giants. He's a strong safety. Free safety now goes to the Packers. Another pick for the Cardinals. This is a pick that I try to get to go with the corner. I consider this pick. They go to the tackle. Lions take another tackle. 3 straight right tackles off the board. Halfback, Earl Upshaw. Right end, Ezekiel Winslow. Goes off the board. Another offensive lineman goes off the board. He's late 20s. Corner, Falcons, thank goodness they did not choose a wide receiver. Matt Rice, another left tackle off the board. Nick Westberg goes off the board. Not interested in him. Alright, so we have 2 picks right now. So, how are the wide receivers looking? So, we have one on the board. It's Darrell Davis. He is the physical guy that I really did not want to be my number 1. We could use him. What concerns me is that his catching is a C, 2, and F. His combine skills, he's strong. I mean, he is a physical guy. He's the highest vertical, so he's physical and he can jump. So interesting. It does not look like he's that fast though. So, or he's not that agile. Looks. He's elite at jumping, which is good. His skills, we know his spectacular catch is an A. His catch in traffic is a B. That's pretty good. His medium route is a C short. So he's not the best route runner. He's average at route running. But we really need a wide receiver. So I'm going to end up taking Darrell Davis. He's a hidden receiver. He's a hidden. So I'll take it. See what he could be. Oh wait, no. No, don't. So we got 1 receiver, so that, depending on his overall, it'll either be our second, third, maybe even our first, who knows, stringer. I would like to get 1 more receiver, even though this guy is probably not that best player. I did not look at the other guy's age. That's one thing. This guy's fast. This guy might be our punt. This guy could be our punt return guy, or his acceleration is good. Overall, his stats don't look terrible. He's good at running medium routes. B, spectacular catch. Not the best at release, catching traffic. C route is average. Looks interesting. Probably a guy that we'll have to develop to be something This looks like a guy that we might want to use the conservative catch. Should we target him? He's 21, which isn't extremely old, but I mean, I'm pretty sure that's about the average age when you come into the NFL. Because I believe, isn't the NFL 3 years in college before you can declare? I know basketball is one and done, I believe. We'll take them. Both hidden doves. All right. I considered trading away this pick to see if I can just recoup some of the lost picks that I had, but two hidden doves, probably both of them will just be star doves, but I'd rather take star doves than normal developments. But we'll just simulate to our next pick. Now I'm kind of going in blind. I don't know exactly what I want to go with. Corner, we really don't need a corner. We really don't need free safety. Go with a wide receiver again. Although if I could steal a corner from someone else. He looks interesting. Tackle well. He's not that good at zone coverage. Not that good at press, which is kind of what you need. If his man coverage is between an A and a C, so it's either really good or average. And if it's anywhere near average, then so that probably would not be good. That's definitely a guy that I would probably see being a media or a normal development. So let's go down the board a bit. A lot of receivers down here. I could trade. How many picks we got? We have 4 more picks. I could trade this pick. See how I can bump up into the second for next year. So I believe we are now in need of a second rounder for next season. Let's see. Rest of these picks, besides this pick, will probably just be depth picks. Yeah, we need a second next year. Really, these next 2 years we need a second, maybe a third. Let's see what we can get from people. My offering. Really dropping back to the 5th? I mean, I guess it's a straight up third, so you're probably not gonna jump up. Usually some team will be willing to offer a second rounder. I don't want to trade back. Okay. And I really don't want to throw in extra picks. Because, I mean, I can get a third for next year. Come on, someone bite. Someone bite, offer a second. We do need a third rounder for next year, but I'd rather just go draft a def piece now. Figure out stuff next year. The issue is I don't know exactly what we need. I mean, I honestly think I should trade it because there's not much. I mean, we can get another wide because I think after these Mingo, Marshall, and then the 2 guys that are drafted, which is 4 receivers, it's just a bunch of 60s, and then Raheem Blackshear is like a 71. We might need to take another one of these receivers, and then yeah, just as an emergency backup and see what's available in these last few picks. I really don't want to get a physical. I cannot remember what my first overall pick straight was. Or it was a physical. I can't remember what my second guy's one trait was. It was fast, so he might have been a deep threat. Or maybe a slot. These guys are just not good. That's my thing. I don't want to use a third rounder for a guy who's not going to be good. I'd rather trade it for a second, but I'm not getting offered a second. These guys aren't amazing. And if they are hidden dev, they definitely just be star development, which would someone we could work with, but it'd take them a while to be decent. I don't want to get like another 60 overall. Overall, we're pretty set in terms of positions. We just need depth in some places, which would be wide receiver. We could always use a corner for depth, but we are pretty good in corners right now. But we could, you know what, I think I will take a corner. Just for depth, take a look at this guy. Marginal strength, probably press is a D. Kitchen is a B. I don't know how to convert guys to wide receivers, and I don't really want to mess with that. And cause them to get hurt. Not good at zone coverage. Terrible play recognition. That's going to immediately knock him off the board. I do not want to deal with F play recognition on this team. This guy's stats don't look as good, but he has 2 elites. And he's agile and he can accelerate. Hit power does not concern me. Zone coverage being enough might be a little bit concerning. Man coverage is a C. Player recognition is a C. I'll take the bite. Bull on this guy. Another hidden development. Probably be a star development. But I'll take it for a corner. The second round, we don't have another pick until... Or third round, we don't have another pick until the 4th round. And I believe we have a 5th rounder at 5. And then the second one at 32. We will probably not trade any of these picks away. We'll just focus on depth, see what we can scrap up. Ton of wide receivers available right now. Got some scheme fit guys. F catching traffic. Not okay. He did not participate in either his pro day or the combine. Can't catch in traffic. He can catch, but he can't catch in traffic. Not the best medium route or release. Short routes, spectacular catch, none of the best injury. He's a guy that's a project. This was MLB the show. He would be in a Class A most likely for a couple seasons and slowly work his way up. I mean, I think I can see the potential. I just don't know if he is going to be able to work his way up. His overall has to be bad, but I'll take a flyer on him. There's a normal development. He's pretty decent in speed. Could be a kick returner guy just to get some skill points here and there and slowly upgrade him. The one thing is I do want to make sure I get these guys developed regardless if they're bad or good. So yeah, ton of wide receivers late, but really not nothing to worry about. Free safety were good. Just a bunch of corners. We have a left end. How's our left end? C. He's a day 3 guy. Probably a guy that won't be part of this team. But we could take him. I mean, B power moves and she blocks and he's not awful. Normal development. I expected that. But Darius Van Buren is a pretty cool name. Now, is this our last pick? Yeah, it is. So we have no more picks left in this draft. We're just going to take a player. I don't want to go after him. Yeah, I could take a wide receiver. Is this a guy that I do not want to get? He has a lot of fur. Interesting. Can't go by those though, always. A spectacular catch. We'll take him. Normal development, that's okay. We hit on a couple of our picks potentially. I'm not sure. I would love to see how that footy guy did. Here's a pick. We have no picks remaining. Probably just sent it out of the draft. Okay, there we go. Draft recap. When we'll see our overalls for our guys. Oh, we hit on our second round pick. So Daryl Davis is a 72. Stevenson is a 78. That actually has me thinking he might be a superstar guy. Um, Marshall, our corner, he was also hidden dev. So we have 3 hidden devs, 3 normal devs. We drafted 4 wide receivers. Um, with these bottom 2 being more dev pieces, and honestly, Davis probably our 4. But overall, not bad. I do want to see the overall NFL and see. Actually, I can just go to the Raiders. See where Cal Foot went. 76. So we definitely got the best receiver on board. I could actually. He was a normal development. Oh yeah, I definitely got the better player. But let's take a look at the NFL and see who is the best overall player in the draft. It was Morgan Shorts, of course, the friggin' Falcons. Get the best player in the draft. We got the second best player in the draft in terms of overall grade, tied for with Brian Benford. So overall, I think that was a successful first draft. We got a 70 wide receiver who's probably gonna split reps with Mingo at the 1 and 2 position. Best thing is he's a hidden development, and because of his overall, and really our first round pick too, we'll be able to know how good these players are. Stevenson's going to move over to our 2. Mingo's going to be our number 1. Marshall will be our slot. Davis will be our backup guy. He'll be on 4 wide. So interesting. Smith. I don't know who that is. So yeah. Corner. Where is our guy at? Marshall. He'll be on that side. I don't know if he's going to get playing time. I'm unsure. I don't think so. Henderson, I believe, is our slot corner. So yeah, interesting. Okay, so Marshall's gonna be our kick return specialist, and Stevenson's gonna be our punt return specialist. Really like that. He's gonna get reps, especially kick returns. That's gonna be a lot of downs played. That's gonna be like, for sure, potentially at least two if we get ball started second half and they kick off. Oh no, that wouldn't work. He's going to get some. If our offense scores, he's getting a lot of returns. He's getting a lot of opportunities. It's going to take longer for him to reveal this, but I think we got a good draft class. I think we did. So let's advance. Alrighty, now the training camps are going to be stuff that I complete off camera, I believe. I really do not want to do preseason. I feel like those are just episodes that aren't worth it, especially since we don't have a rookie quarterback. We have Bryce Young, who's going to be a sophomore quarterback. But we could definitely get a gauge of what our team actually looks like now. Because I think all the morale boosts are going to be reset to 0. Not quite, but Bryce Young is a superstar. He's already up to an 82. Sanders gets a 1-up boost. We still have Andy Dalton and Matt Corral on the roster. I know for Stevenson, once he gets up to an 80 overall, if he gets an attribute boost, then he is definitely at least superstar. Hoping to eventually get him up to Superstar X Factor. But so this is going to be our starting lineup that we hope for regular season. Mingo, we're going to keep him as number 1, even though Stevenson technically has a higher overall. We're going to keep Mingo at number 1. Stevenson at number 2. Marshall's going to be our slot. Davis will come in every so often. Is Davis on our kick returns? It's just Stevenson. Well, then, okay, so we have 2 Stevensons. Davis might not. Okay. I just fixed that thing. Anyways, I'll worry about all that stuff on my own. I feel like that offseason, although we didn't do too much, it was pretty successful. I'm actually happy that I made that trade with the Bears because I ended up getting not only one hidden dev guy, but two hidden dev guys and a hidden dev corner. My controller. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Take care. Stay safe. I want the battery to die again. And peace.